Man, but I want to go back to when we first met, 2017. That was the first flash mob?
First one. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so what made you, was flash mobs even a thing before then?
Man, so not in the way we did.
Okay. Hey guys, what's good? And welcome to the Cosign Life. If you're watching this video, that means you co-sign us and we co-sign you. So here are a couple of ways to support us at Cosign Magazine. Number one, view the description below, click the link, and purchase an issue of Cosign Magazine. Just like this one right here, physical. You can purchase this. Number two, you can also support us by purchasing Cosign merch. Hit the link below and it'll take you to all our past merch items, and we'd love to have your support and see you wear Cosign Magazine. Back for another episode of Cosign Conversations, but this time we have the cover edition. We have the founders of Black Menswear. How y'all guys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. We just killed a crazy cover shoot. Y'all be looking at that soon. But first and foremost, I want to give a chance for everybody to individually introduce themselves, and then we can talk Black Menswear and everything suit and style.
I'm Neandre Broussard. I'm the founder of Black Menswear. I've been changing narrative since 2017, and again, just utilizing our voice to help write our own story about what the black man actually embodies versus what the negative media stereotype that they always kind of push on our throats. But again, appreciate you rocking with us.
Yeah, definitely, man. Early on, man.
Early on.
Yeah.
First flash mob.
Exactly, bro. I was there. Behind the scenes was subpar, but I was there though.
Yeah.
I was there with my camera with my 50 millimeter, like bet. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what's up, bro.
Still got that video too.
Yeah. I still got it too. I look at it like, damn, I was trash back then. But you know, it's the thought that counts. You know what I'm saying?
You embrace the journey now.
Nah, facts. I do. Now we got a whole production team. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Taylor Penguin Media, supported by Cosign Magazine. Got to throw that in there too, though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My name is Evan Marshall, aka It's Whatever, Vice President of Partnerships. My job is helping negotiate the brand deals and leading the build out of the Black Menswear male influence network.
Yeah, you've been doing a great job in seeing that too, man. Seeing the partnerships coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
Okay, Jacob Clayton. I am the head tailor and designer for Black Menswear. We have a custom suit aspect to our company, BMC and Co. So that's what I do. I'm a suit guy.
Yeah, that's amazing. I want to talk about that too, but let's take it all the way back to 2016? 2017, you know what I'm saying, when we first met. Okay, so your idea was to change the narrative of how black men are viewed, right? But talking to me about that first ideation that came to your head that you wanted to actually create Black Menswear, what was your thought process, and then how did you actually create it?
Man, to be 100%, it was really a one of those moments where sitting there watching TV, you know, this is a back-to-back killing of black men by law enforcement, and the portrayal of that individual was always negative. It was always, you're a criminal, right? Let's not find out what happened. Because whenever they do that with the story, now it's so much easier for them to go and say, oh, there were no charges filed because this person was a criminal anyway, right? They depict that, and so it was so often that I sat there and looked at that, and I was like, dang, that could be me. I wonder how they're gonna portray me if something happens, because that's the crazy thing about it. Like, we all see these stories and we can see ourselves in them.
Exactly.
And that's scary, right?
For sure.
And so then it's like, damn, are they gonna try to drag me through the mud? Okay. Are they gonna have these visuals of me and they gonna find that one picture that I took
always
when I was
do too.
16, 17 years old, you know what I mean? And so with that, I was like, man, I gotta do something where I can just put more positive imagery of us into the media, right? And we use social media, like, bro, we done ran up some Instagram pages, built these profiles out. Right. So how can I do one specific to that? And that was the lane, right? And then so it was, but to me, 100%, man, it's kind of like this was my calling. Okay. To where God was like, this is your way to provide positivity and share positivity within the world, not just within the community, right? Because the thing about social media, it lets you touch people in places that you can't physically get to. For sure. But if you just put out this positive message that can inspire me personally, it inspires my boys, it inspires my kids, you know what I'm saying? It inspires people that reach out to me via DM and like, man, I was gonna do something different, but just because I saw that, it just changed my mindset about what I could do, right? If it does that, then that's exactly what it was for, man. So we just, utilized the social media game, knew the algorithms, right?
Yeah.
Knew how to build that out organically.
Gotcha.
And so we've been on a force ever since.
So you spoke about positivity images, right? Tell us about each individually when you guys either made a transition into wearing suits and become more stylish, or like what was that turning point for you guys?
So for me, I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So the noops, always, that's one thing that when you go through this little process, that's one of the things that you address is how do you enter a room and how do you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not only to represent you, but you also represent this, this fraternity, right? So that for me, that was kind of a turning point when I started thinking about it, right? So just 20 years old, 21 years old. But it wasn't until I got into the corporate world.
Okay.
So I got out of college, I still like to just have my own little swag to it. When I got to the corporate world where they forced me to wear a suit every day, then I started looking at it like, all right, since I gotta wear the same suit as all of y'all, how do I then make it me, right? How can I stand out? Because it's even harder for us in corporate world to stand out because they gonna think we don't have the knowledge.
Right.
And so, okay, one, let me make sure my fit is on point, and then now they hear me like, oh, he's smart.
Right, exactly. He's intelligent. Yeah.
So that was kind of my transition period into adulthood. Shout out to my wife because she was like, you should try something different. And now I'm here trying something different.
Here we are. That's what's up. What about you, Ev?
Man, I like to say, man, I'm so Midwest, it's a damn shame. Shout out to Cuddies. I was born in Chicago. In Chicago, if you ever go to Chicago, West Side, Maxwell Street, that's when all the old school suit shops is. And I moved to Ohio, Dayton, Ohio players. So we was always suited and booty. Detroit Gators, that's Midwest thing, right, as well. So even in high school, we used to go to a spot in Dayton called Henry's, which was like where you would go and get like, the old school Steve Harvey looking suit, but you was suited and booty all the time.
In high school?
Yeah, even in high school. So that was our thing. So everybody was getting it up, even in high school.
That's crazy.
That so it kind of transitioned from that. And obviously, just having more of a refined taste, and you just go, okay, we got things out of the game, get some regular nice clothes, you know what I'm saying? Get some more form-fitted suits, but then, so it's always kind of been like that. My dad was dressed, my grandma was dressed, she was part of this thing, her and her church ladies was the Purple Hat Club, the old church hat.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So kind of for me, like, I was always around people that like to get fly, like to dress, so that's where it came from. And then similar to you, first job in corporate retail, I was working at Lord & Taylor in New York. Gotta wear suits every day, right? Lord & Taylor's old school, a little more covered. So like same thing, how do I maintain the look and aesthetic they have, but also put my little flair on it, put my own little spin on it. So, and then from that, it's kind of just evolving with the times.
That's what's up, man. That's amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something every day.
Yeah, every day.
I do miss those times though. Everybody used to dress like parents used to dress like dress codes are so casual now. But I've always been passionate about fashion my entire life. From a very early age, wasn't surrounded by it. My mom is a nurse. My dad, worked at a packaging facility. So, I didn't grow up around it, surrounded by it. So my inspiration came from TV and it came from the internet and
What was it,
magazines. Not specifically, but just seeing well-dressed men, really, really struck a chord with me. So I always wanted to be different. It wasn't always suits. I just wanted to be different.
Right.
I didn't want to follow trends. So if everybody was going left, I wanted to go right, make my own lane. That might have been graphic tees or it might have been bow ties and sweater vests. I don't know.
Hot topic.
Right. So wherever it was, I just wanted to be different. It wasn't until I got to college that I joined an organization called Black Male Initiative. And it was a mentoring organization to help black men with professional development and personal development. And so we wore suits every Monday. We called it image busting. So we wanted to show people that, you don't just have to wear suits for job interviews. You don't have to just wear suits for court or funerals. Like, we can get dressed just cause.
Right.
And so I went from wearing suits every Monday to Monday and Tuesday, from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and eventually I was wearing suits 5 days a week.
Every day.
I brand myself on campus as the suit guy. Yeah. And I was best dressed all 4 years. And so, that's when I got my first 2 suits. I wanted to start my own custom suit company and didn't know how. So I got a job working retail. So I worked at Brooks Brothers, worked at Suit Supply. And, like Evan said, your style starts to change. Right. And so just to describe my style right now, it's corporate flair. That's my style, corporate flair. So
everybody got it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
you thought about this.
I wear white dress shirts every day. I wear solid ties every day. Typically my socks match my pants. I don't do polka dots and stripes.
It's very plain, but
Stands out. Hey, just a little tidbit. When I was in high school, I won best dressed too. You know?
my man.
I did. It wasn't for suits,
My
though.
man.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm from New York, so every summer I used to go, you know what I'm saying, go shopping. They come back, they be like, yo, where you get that from? Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Don't worry about it, sweet.
Fly.
That's flat. Don't worry about it.
Fly, yeah. Man, but I want to go back to when we first met, 2017. That was the first flash mob?
First one. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so what made you, was flash mobs even a thing before then?
Man, so not in the way we did.
Okay.
Right? It was a thing to where they had like musical flash mobs. Like people go in the mall,
Right.
and they just start singing, right?
Okay,
And then
gotcha.
boom, they disperse. And so my thing with this was like, all right, if we're gonna have first of all, my thought was we gotta get in and out because if we have a large gathering of black men anywhere,
Right.
you probably gonna have some trouble, right? So because not from us, but from outside, like, what are y'all doing there? Somebody call the police, like, right. So our thing with that was like, all right, we want to do something what for us initially became content capture and a networking opportunity.
Okay.
Right? To where we can bring guys together, get this content that for us was that we were going to use on our channel, right? My guy Evan told me that first thing he said, man, if you really want to do something special with this, you got to make your own content. Because we started just kind of like posting other people's stuff, right? And so he's like, but you got to tell your own story. You got to make your own content. So then we're like, okay, let's start putting these photo shoots together. And that's where the flash mob came from. And then it became just so powerful, right? So it was, again, the concept came from what they were doing with people in the malls and stuff, but it was like, hey, we're gonna get together for this hour, pull up, come suited, come with your own flavor, but you gotta be suited. Right. You gotta have a blazer on, something, you gotta be suited.
I remember the instructions.
Minimal.
Minimal.
And then, pull up, first one we did was at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning here in Dallas. 25 brothers came out. At that point, we were like, oh shoot, this gonna be special. But the thing about it was, because it was all positivity, dudes was like, yo, when's the next one?
Exactly.
I want to be there. I want to be a part of that. I want to come and be a part of that imagery that you're pushing out. I want to be a part of that story that you're telling. I also want to come and network. I'm an entrepreneur. You had some clients there that I could have met with. I'm a doctor, I'm a barber, I'm a lawyer. I'm an entrepreneur. I just need to be in the mix. So it became that as well, to where I'm able to put people in a room with other people to build a network. So not only are we changing the narrative from a visual perspective, but we also changing it from an economic perspective because I'm putting brothers together that need to be together to keep their business moving forward.
Definitely. So when did you see the growth of it start to take its own legs? Because you did 25 that time. I remember another time I came out, you did it in partnership with Baddie Brunch. So that time it was men and women. And then I just started seeing it grow. More people, now doing different cities. So when did you start seeing it take its own legs and start getting bigger? And when did you okay, now it's time to take this on the road?
So we did 5 in Dallas before we took it on the road.
Okay.
Evan was like, so at that point too, I was traveling with work, right? And so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna be here. He's like, hey, you gonna be in LA? You might as well just reach out to some people out there. So the first one we did on the road was in LA. We had but it was kind of last minute.
Okay.
Cause I didn't have the confidence. I'm like, hey, pull up here and just tell me. But we did it. We had 20 guys at the Beverly Center in LA. And folks was like, oh, you guys what do y'all got going on, right? So then I had to go to Chicago. My man's in Chicago. So we're like, all right, we took a little bit more to plan that out. We had 100 guys in Chicago. First time really going on the road to plan it. At that point, I was like, all right, we can take this DC, Atlanta, Philly,
Tampa.
Oh,
that boy's moving.
Houston. Then we started putting it out, and then I was like, all right, let's structure this and turn it into a real tour, which is where we at now 3 years later.
See, that was similar to my next question. When did it become a business, right? So when you first started, you were just doing flash mobs, creating content, you had a social page. But when did Black Menswear become a business?
When I got good teammates.
Okay,
So my boy,
talk to us about
always
that.
been in my ear. Always been in my ear about branding, not just this aspect of it, but again, how do you shift that content, right? How do you create those differentiators that's like, okay, again, you don't just want to be an Instagram page, you got to be more than that, right? So I'll let Evan talk to that, like from the point of us saying that we're going to expand and we're going to expand in a strategic way versus just saying, all right, we're just going to take more pictures. Like, how do we actually do that?
Talk to us
And to that point, I think that when it really clicked for me is when we did October 2019, we did London. right? And London was kind of the same thing. Like it was planned because I knew I was going. Our videographer we was rocking with at the time, we knew he was going too. So it was like, all right, we knew we could go. We probably had 35, 40 guys pull up in London,
Right.
in Europe, right? We probably went to Africa Center in London. They loved this. So like, so then we were okay. Now we make an impact genuinely across the globe.
Right.
So from that, I got back. It's like, you know what? If we can plan these out, we need to do a tour, right? Because if we do a tour, then what we can do is like, because we've already done Tampa, Chicago, we bringing people out. Now, if we plan it out, it does two things. One, it gives time for the fellas to plan it out to come, right? So then what we started seeing, like we did our first one, the tour with Charlotte. So that's one. But then when we announcing it out, plan it out, now you got the guys from Atlanta, they gonna come out. Guys from DC can come out. Guys from Birmingham, they can drive it because they know they can come. That's part one. Two, from a partnership standpoint, I'm like, hey, we do this tour, we can package this up and get brand association, right? Not in terms of even the monetary gain, but partner with brands that want to amplify and tell that story of Black positivity.
Right.
Right? It's like, how are we gonna have to, because our mission really is to change the narrative. Part of the reason we get suited and booted is we like to say, like, you can be whatever you want. We use this theory all the time, it's called enclosed cognition. Basically what that is how you look and how you dress affects your cognitive process. Like what Deion said, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. You play good, you get paid good.
Yeah.
That's really what enclosed cognition is. Like, you know, how many times it's like, you know what? I'm about to go crush this today. You throw that suit on.
Exactly.
Like women even too. Like women, you got a business meeting, you gonna throw the Potter heels on, you ain't doing the Jessica Simpson, right? So it's like, it goes both ways. So from that, it was like we can brand that. Brands want to be associated with that, but it needs a more systematic structure. You just can't go to the brand like, hey, I got this event in 2 weeks, give me some money.
Right, yeah.
Right? It's like, no, but if we build this out, like, hey, we gonna do these 10 cities, these 10 tours, and we're also speaking to different Black men in each of these individual markets.
Also, like kind of thinking about that component, right? So we've developed this event series, like we're going on these tours and we're doing this, and guys are pulling up, and every time we go to this, right? They always ask, bro, where do you get your suit from? Right? Where do you get your suit? How can I get something like that? And so then we became expansive of, all right, we have a market that we didn't even focus on tapping into from that perspective. Right? We just wanted to show it, and now people are asking, right? And so then as it became an aspect like, okay, this demand is high. We need to make these suits, right? We need to go into that. That ain't something that I've ever done before. I've never, I've been through a custom suit experience, but I couldn't manage anything like that. So then it became like in my mind, dang, who's the best person that I can go to learn that from? Now Jacob had we had already started a relationship 4 years earlier before the flash mob even started.
Right.
We had started a relationship, and crazy thing,
Evan introduced us. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Full circle over here.
real circle. And, so it started off, Jacob was telling me, say, okay, well, if you want to do this, you got to do this. You need to do this, right? To where now, me as a business mind, this is really for anybody out there that's really trying to expand your business. I'm learning it, so I'm trying to all of a sudden become a suit maker,
Right.
right? And I'm getting things, and he's just dropping these tips. He's like, okay, you need to follow, you track this way, reach out to this person. When it comes, you got to ship it out. And I'm like, okay, cool. Man, I took 3 custom orders. It was like, I can't do this. I got other stuff I got to do, right?
Right.
So then, he and I had a long conversation. And I was like, bro, I can't do this. I value your opinion. I value your expertise. Can we partner?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? To where then it's like, okay, now I got somebody I'm comfortable with that can run that division of the brand.
Right.
Then I've got somebody here that can run the partnership aspect, and I'm still gearing and riding the ship of, okay, this is where we're gonna go, this is how we're gonna do it, but knowing that, and then we got into custom suited.
Right.
So now, I say, Jacob, we got our appointments, we booking online, we going to different cities,
Yep.
we pulling up in different cities, we booking out custom suit appointments while we're there, and I got somebody that can handle that for me.
Yeah. It was a perfect partnership because I had the product, I had the service, and he had the platform, right? And so we both benefited from the situation. And again, the demand was there, which makes sense. Like, not that, Black Menswear is a one-stop shop, but you can come to us for so many different things, right? Not that, it's all vertically integrated, but man, we do jackets, we do pants, we do shirts, we do ties, we do pocket squares, we do custom shoes.
Right.
So we don't have to go to anybody else. If you need that, you can come to us.
Gotcha.
So it's been a great help. We tried to launch in March. COVID. So we relaunched in August, and it's been going really
And
well.
it's been,
So this is a great point. I just did an interview with Craig Lewis. I don't know if y'all familiar with him.
Yep.
So he told me from outside looking at my business, Cosign, he was like, you spend a lot of time working in your business and not on your business, right? So when you said that instead of you doing everything, which I was doing the same, you brought people on, you brought a team, you created a team, you partnered, and now it gives you time to focus on what you're great at and what you need to do for your business,
yes,
right?
absolutely. And I think a big thing about teams that a lot of people try to a lot of people overlook. If you got a team and you trust the people that are that's on your team,
Right.
let them do what they do.
For sure.
Now, do not bring somebody on a team that does not understand your mission, your vision, and your values of your organization.
Right.
Because then y'all not going the same way,
Gotcha,
the
right.
same way. But when you got people that you vetted out, right, that you trust, well, you trust yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I
Right.
trust you. I trust myself with knowing that you're gonna be the right person in there, and then you let them fly.
Right.
Then your brand flies as a whole.
Nah, for sure. And something I saw on social, I'm not sure if y'all talked about it a lot, but I know it was on social, and I'm not gonna say the names 'cause I won't get it wrong, but y'all did something for the country, no, it wasn't that country.
Yeah.
It was the Country Music Awards,
Yeah.
CMA.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to chop it up, so so I'm gonna let y'all tell this experience. But I know it was big. I know it was big. So talk to us about that experience and what exactly that whole thing entailed.
So it's funny because that experience brings all, like, we all played a part in that, right?
Okay.
Right.
All right. So my guy Troy Thomas, shout out Troy Thomas, Black Excellence Brunch. We were in LA for the LA Flash Mob. Top of mind, right? Sometimes you just gotta be top of mind.
Right.
We were in LA with LA Flash Mob. My guy Trell knows Jimmy Allen personally. Jimmy reached out to him, was like, hey man, you know anybody that makes suits? I get to perform at the CMAs this year. Trell like, yeah, boom. Hey Dre, you think you can make a suit for my guy? I'm like, yeah, sure, who is it?
Yeah.
It's Jimmy Allen. It's like, oh, snap. Like, okay, yeah. So then, from that experience, it's funny, like he and I were on a business lunch when I got that text, So then basically at that point, then, he connects us via text message, hey Jimmy, this is my boy Dre. I then pull that and say, hey Jimmy, appreciate just the trust in us. I'm gonna connect you with my guy Jacob. Here's Jacob. Now I create a new text thread with that.
Right.
Here's Jacob. He's gonna be the one that's gonna take care of you. Jacob get on a plane. Jacob go to Nashville, Tennessee. Get the booking done. 3 weeks later, we got his suit. He on stage performing with Charlie Pride.
Rest in
Unfortunately,
peace.
Yeah, rest in peace,
for his last
for sure.
performance. Jimmy Allen wearing our suit. You know what I mean? Like just that. But it was just all that web. And I think the thing too is that how flexible we were in that. Because a lot of people could have been like, man, there's no way we can get the suit in time.
Right.
We was like, nah, we gonna
figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta take those opportunities.
Every time.
Take those opportunities,
You gotta take those
yeah,
opportunities, bro. All right, man. So a question I like to ask everybody I talk to is because, okay, of course you guys are here because I co-sign y'all and y'all co-sign me, right? What I want to know was who was like the first co-sign that you guys received in regards to Black Menswear. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about that, right, I want you to think about how that co-sign also impacted the growth that you've seen.
I think the first, and I really hope I don't offend anybody who was like, nah, nigga. I think the first one for me that really blew my mind was Stephon Marbury.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Coney Island.
Yeah, right. When he reached out, I was like, bro, you got something great going on with that. For me, that was kind of like one of those, oh snap, like you get validation from. But this is a dude that's all the way over in China,
Right.
playing a legend,
Right.
playing ball over there, and he's on the gram like, you got some powerful stuff going on over there. You know what I mean? Like that for me, for the brand was like, oh,
Game changer.
yeah, we need to look at this a little bit greater of a scale.
larger scale.
And that was October 2019.
Okay.
And it was just like, wow, okay. All right, now we really need to focus on this growth because people are noticing.
Right.
And for somebody like that to reach out to me, not me, reaching out.
Yeah,
like,
reach out to you.
He reached out to me. He was like, yo, you've got something great going on. Anything I can do to help you, just let me know. Like that moment, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
We global. We global.
Yeah.
And Evan, I want you to speak on it from the partnership side. Maybe somebody who's reached out early, or that you actually reached out to, and they were like, "I love it, let's do it."
Well, like from that standpoint, like our very first partnership was a company called Indochino.
Okay.
Which is like, so that was our very first, and we like that a lot because obviously we have our own suit line. But I said the reason I made that it wasn't about, hey, let's partner where our suits sell these suits.
Right.
It was like, hey, we really believe in the mission that you guys want to do. Please utilize our store space. We hosted an event called Dapper Conversations in person.
Right.
We had about 30 guys, brothers together talking about toxic masculinity, male fragility, how to build a business. And they kind of just really hosted our space and really allowed us to kind of amplify our messaging behind that.
Right.
So that's what made that partnership unique, because it was like, most of our meetings like, oh, these brothers got suits on, let's try to sell these suits. They didn't even care about that at all.
Right.
It was really about like, hey, can we really amplify this message? We support y'all, and just kind of really help create this visionary we believe what you guys are looking to build. I would say that. And then honestly, the cosign for me really was like my sign. Probably be the one that we got this probably about a few weeks ago. So this dude, he shot the cover of British Vogue in October. So like everything he does now, Vogue, GQ, like if he shoots it, like the next day, he was like, yeah, I got a call the next day to make a market. Right?
Oh, wow.
And he on the phone with us like, I love what y'all do. I rock with y'all. Like, we trying to do a Paris Flash mob. He said, we can do it. For work sometime, I'm gonna try to pull up with y'all.
That's great.
Right? So like that's what's like, and it's not even about him specifically. It's like from a visionary standpoint, execution from a content creator. This dude believes his content can be in British Vogue. If he sees our content and he sees the emotion, the visionary impacts him that same way, that's the cosign.
That's amazing.
Right? Because he's creating content that's really global that everybody's seeing. So if he's like, this resonates with me, then I'm like, okay, this continues to affirm that what we're doing has a positive impact on
Not
people.
fact.
So that cosign for me was something that was really important. It's like, you know what? We need to just keep pushing because we
Not
haven't
fact.
even tapped through what we can be as of yet.
Not for sure. What
Yeah.
about you, Jacob?
We kind of already touched on it, but Jimmy Allen.
Yeah, amazing.
Because I'm going to talk about it from the suit perspective. But Jimmy Allen, and I'm saying him specifically because number one, he lives in Nashville.
Right.
Right. We live in Dallas. He could have easily found somebody in his city
Right.
to make the suit for him. He could have gone anywhere. Because you got to understand, you're a full-time entrepreneur. So when people choose to, invest, I appreciate that because they didn't have to. You can get a suit from Macy's, you can go to Men's Warehouse, you can go to Suit Supply, Q Clothing, you can go wherever you want.
Right.
So when people come to you, it's because they trust you.
Right.
Right? And that means a lot to me. And the fact that was our first television appearance was huge. And, one thing that I want to say is that he paid.
Oh, amazing.
These celebrities, these athletes, they feel like, oh, well, if you give it to me for free, you'll get some exposure and I'll make sure I tag you on a couple posts. Exposure ain't paying the bills. You know what I'm saying? He didn't come to me with hey, man, I'm gonna rock this on stage with
He could easily
Charlie
say, I'm on
Pride,
CMA.
he paid.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He paid. And then, just because people do business with you don't mean they have to again.
Right.
He came back and said, hey, I'm performing at the AMAs.
Give me another one.
I need to do another,
Right.
And so,
Return a customer.
yeah, when people support you in that way and like they don't expect anything from you but to do a good job, I appreciate it.
That's what's up. And I want to talk about, it's on the line, along the lines of Cosign, is y'all had some viral moments to which, man, the world picked up. You know what I'm saying? I want to let you guys explain it because I want you to tell us what the shot was. And if you're following Cosign, you know what the shot was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, everybody from Diddy to comedians co-signed it. But I want you to talk to us about that shoot. Did you know that he was going to be there? And did you do a line like that, or that's just something like just happened organically? And then who are some people, celebrities that co-signed it? Although your focus isn't celebrities, I just want the world to know that, what you guys are doing is so impactful that celebrities are getting onto it. But you're not doing it for their clout. You're just doing it for yourselves. But now they're starting to see. So talk to us about that.
So that was the Dallas Flash Mob 5.
Okay.
It was here. We shot it. It was raining. Like, people don't even know it was raining on that picture, right? So the picture is young Harper Anthony, who standing in the sea of black men, young black boy, 6 years old, and you just got this 99 black men standing behind him. Just that depth of it, right? I knew he was coming the morning of, or the day before, sorry, my boy called me. He said, "Hey man, my wife's friend is in town. Her son was supposed to be coming to do a shoot.
Right.
They ended up canceling the shoot while he was on the plane. So they here. I'm coming to the shoot tomorrow. You mind if she bring him?" I said, "Yeah, cool. As long as he got a suit, he good."
Yeah.
He pull up. History, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Rest is history.
Who's the photographer that shot that picture?
So that particular picture, so the shoot was staged by Santos.
Okay,
right?
so
So
for sure.
Santos set that all up. That particular shot was Ann and I.
Okay.
But it was you know, he's standing there, kind of we're there. Santos like, "Hey yo," we had just finished the full shoot, but we got everybody lined up on one line, layers on layers of brothers, and we getting ready to wrap. Santos like, "Nah, hey, bring him out front. So you gotta put him right there."
He did that set design.
Yeah,
Right.
he was like, "Y'all come in, give him kind of like that, we there." And it was the fist up. So he had some sunglasses on. I was like, "Nah," Santos like, "Tell him to take the glasses off." So he takes the glasses off. I take the glass off, put it in his hand, puts it in his pocket, say, "Hey, just go pop that up." He pops it up, he snaps it. I come around, look at the camera, he look at me, I look at him. It's like,
That's the one.
it was like,
That's
yo,
the
this
one.
gonna be. Now, did I know that it was gonna get, again, Diddy, Revolt, TV One, Tracy Ellis Ross,
Chris Brown.
Carucci, Chris
Yeah,
Brown.
come on.
I know it was gonna be like all of that. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Did I know it was going to be impactful? Did I know it was going? Did I know it was going to be a multi-generational picture? No. Right. That photo is going to be around years after I'm gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mark my. That photo is going to be in museums.
Yeah.
Did I know that at the time? No. Did I think it was going to be fire for the gram?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it just, again, but the messaging in it, I think, is what's so powerful, right? You got, and the crazy is, like, people don't even pick up, there are so many variations of the attire, the suit behind him, right? So he's there, and in his blue suit, but then you've got just all these different styles of black men behind him. But the one focal point that we have is this young brother that we gonna make sure, hey, when the wolves come, you got a pack behind him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that. That just makes it so powerful and just continue just to kind of it just resurfaces. It resurfaced during a lot of the George Floyd uprising.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
It took a second life.
Yep.
We shot that picture a year and a half before that, and it's coming back because it is such a powerful image and it speaks to so many different people.
Evergreen. Yeah, that's an evergreen photo. Evergreen.
I think
photo.
a lot of the content we've had done, like the same thing with the George Floyd situation, like the video when walking down the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum from the Philadelphia flash mob, that went viral again. That one went viral today. The video itself went viral because people just like the imagery, especially when there were so many negative thoughts about like protesting. And while that was not a protest video by any means, you showed that power, togetherness, camaraderie. But it also went viral. I forget the girl's name, but she had a TikTok video, and she's watching the video of the guys walking down the steps. She's like, "Hold up. What they protesting?" And that video that TikTok got like 8 million views on her page. So but that video also made her proud as well. Right? So the fact that now people are even taking our content, putting their own spin on it, and that's going virality, like that's also just shows that like the content we continue to push out, it's not about the suits. It's not about it's actually inspirational. People look at that and it means something to them and evokes emotion from them. And then from that, that's where they continue when they see this positive image moving forward.
It's all again, like we are storytellers, right? Like, we are telling the story of how we see ourselves and how we see our community and our men, and embracing ourselves to whatever you want to do, right? The thing that comes back to the suits aspect of it is, it's like, you see somebody at the pinnacle of success, your mind automatically goes, like, we've been here. It's this dude that got a suit on, standing on the mountaintop with his briefcase. You know what I'm saying? The president wears a suit, all
Every
these-
day.
And so from that aspect, it's not saying like, hey, you gotta wear a suit to be successful.
Right.
It's just saying,
Right.
man, if I see guys that look like me, that look successful, I might not go and I might not allow my environment to tell me I can only do one thing or the other.
For sure.
I think one more viral moment that we had that was really impactful was our opportunity to pay tribute, right? So we went to the March on Washington.
Okay.
last year
I
in
remember
DC, where it was, a systemic racism and injustice. We out there, like we really, this is a time for us, and so many people out there, black, white, Latino, whatever. Everybody's out there.
Right.
And while we there on that day before, you get the news, Chadwick Boseman dies. Black Panther gone? Like, nah, that ain't this.
Yeah.
That,
Thought it was a whole joke.
Yeah.
And so we had a flash mob set up for that next day.
Okay.
Well, within the creative process of that, as we're filming and these things, and as we come back to the table on how we gonna do this, my guy Rock is like, let's pay this homage, right? We can utilize this. This is Black man. This is powerful. Using his speech from the Howard commencement that he gave, talking about purpose.
I remember that.
Right, and taking that and putting that into a way that we can pay tribute to the man that's changed. Like he got Black Panther. Like that's our hero, right? You know what I'm saying? And so utilizing our platform to also pay homage. Where we can, because again, we're storytelling. That's something that hit all of us.
That's it.
And we ain't never met Chadwick Boseman, they ain't alive. But that loss hit us. How can we take what we're doing and then create stories around that to be again? That's super positivity.
No,
you know what I'm
thanks.
saying? And so how can we tell stories like that as well from our platform?
That's amazing. So to tie it all in, I'm gonna start with Jacob and work our way this way. So it's a two-part question, right?
Okay.
So I want you to tell us what you have, or your goals for 2021, what you have planned, right? Then I want you to tell us, actually, I'm sorry, three-part.
Okay.
Then from there, I want you to go into leave us with some motivation, right? A gym.
Okay.
And then I want you to end with a Black man you co-sign. Okay?
Okay.
So 2021, this year, motivation, a Black man you co-sign.
2021 goals. The goal is to grow. Okay. It's all about scalability. We're planting seeds right now, right? I don't think that 2021 is going to be my year. I won't say 2022 is going to be my year. We're planting seeds to see some real change in 2023, 2024.
Right.
But that work starts now.
Right.
I'm a firm believer that it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
Facts.
Like some of us have those viral moments, but when we see people that are super successful in the media, we don't see the work that they put in behind the scenes.
For sure.
People see the 300,000 followers we have on IG right now, but they don't see the 13K we had 3 years ago when I first met Dre.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, okay, you have your own suit company right now, but you didn't see me working at Men's Warehouse in 2016. So the goal is to grow, man. We are planting seeds right now that are going to yield a high return. So I'm excited about that. Got a lot of projects and plans in place, and I'm just looking forward to getting to work. As far as motivation is concerned, I would just say get started. That's the one thing I tell people. Most of us have a spirit of fear when it comes to our ideas and when it comes to our concepts, but you just have to do it afraid. Right. No one's going to do it for you. Right? Even if you don't have the support, you have to believe in yourself and bet on yourself.
Facts.
No one's going to do it for you. So, if there is something that you want to do as far as like a business opportunity is concerned, just do it.
Right.
You don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started if you want to be great.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like you start a company.
That's a gym.
Yeah, you start a company and you learn along the way.
For sure.
Right? Like, being a perfectionist used to paralyze me, right, from moving forward. And, I was having a conversation with my mentor, which is going into my third point, but he said, something is better than a perfect nothing. Something is better than a perfect nothing. So just get started. And that's who I choose to co-sign as my mentor. His name is Dr. Alex Ellis. I met him in 2015. Has absolutely changed my life. He's the reason I started speaking. He's the reason I started styling. He's the reason I travel so much. He's the reason I started doing social media marketing. We talk every day, twice a day.
That's amazing.
And that's who I choose to co-sign.
That's what's up, brother.
Yeah, for me, I would say, so one of the things we're building out this year is an influencer network.
Okay.
So one of the things we realized that only 16% of influencers in general are men, right? A lot of times people that are influencers, male influencers, are former athletes that got a bunch of followers that way. Or they might be like the club promoter, right? So you got a bunch of followers. Nothing wrong with those, and I'm not trying to say that's a negative thing, but you need to think about influence in terms of working with brands, being content creators. That's not inherently who they are. right? So in terms of them working to bring brand partnerships, brand briefs together, it's tough on both sides. One, it's tough for a lot of brands that have access to black males,
Right.
that have black male audiences as well, right? So even if you think about a lot of black males that even do have large social following, women are their followers, right? But say you're a brand like Bevel, you want to work with them, Shea Moisture, Degree deodorant,
Right.
whoever. Well, like you want that male to buy the product, not that female to buy the product, right? So because they don't have access to that, because what we're doing brand partnerships, our platform, our reach, we know a lot of these guys. We're going to these cities, we're picking 150, 200 guys out. They got, some of these guys got 200, 300,000 followers, some got 30, 40,000 followers. Like, I know all them. So why don't we now create an ecosystem that when we're having these brand deals, we can connect those guys with those brands, right? And the great thing about this, everybody eats beef, right? So it's like, they gonna cut us the check, we gonna help you cut the check. So now what can we do to black content creators, photographers, videographers, influencers, quote unquote, we're hoping to get you on the radar for those brands to help negotiate brand partnerships. So not only, there's two things, not only does it help you eat as an individual, but the more faces you can get out there in these advertisements, that's how you continue to change the narrative, right? That's how you kind of show that like, hey, it would be great to do a deal with Smucker's Jam about, you know, man, it's COVID, my wife got an early morning meeting, I'm at home putting the jelly on the toast. What you doing? That's not really about Smuckers. Now you're debunking the myth of black fatherhood, right? Because you don't want to actually taking care of the kids, right? So that's what we're trying to do and build that influencer network out. We got a couple of different partnerships already in the hopper, closed 3 of them this month. So our goal is to kind of hit $250,000 revenue for that this year. Or for the not revenue stuff that's going out to those guys to kind of help amplify that. In terms of motivational, linked to that, I like to say how you pivot is how you prosper, right? And so from that, we wouldn't even have that concept before pre-COVID, right? But now we realize, okay, there's an opportunity there, how we can make impact. So with any business, how you pivot is how you prosper in life. It's going to be ebbs and flows because, you know, the peaks are going to take care of themselves. It's how you manage the valleys, right? So how you pivoting through these mountains is going to determine how you're going to prosper on the other side, right? So if you just kind of keep that in the back of your mind, that's what you can really focus on. And then in terms of guy I want to cosign, I don't really even know him that well, but I just found out about him from a program I was working on outside of this, but I think he's super dope. His name is Dr. Howard Conyers from South Carolina, went to North Carolina A&T. This dude, no joke, is an aerospace engineer for NASA by day. In the evening, he has a PhD in black barbecue history. So he goes around the country doing speaking engagements. He's done deal with Essence, he's done deal with Ebony, he's done deal with Kingsford, you name it, going around because his whole thing is barbecue history is American history. And you can't tell the story of American history without the story of black barbecue. So this dude is a historian in black barbecue, but at the same time is an aerospace engineer at NASA. To me, like, that's black excellence, right? Why don't we know who he is?
Right. No idea.
But that's what I'm saying. Like and that goes back to even changing the narrative, right? In terms of like, this dude is an expert in multiple fields that you don't even think black men in. You know how many aerospace engineers do you know in general, let alone for NASA, right? But not only that, he's also passing out telling the history of black barbecue history and he's from South Carolina. So he's really big on being from the South and like the legacy of the South and how putting that forward. So he's an expert in both of his fields. That's black excellence to me. So I want to co-sign him, and again, his name is Dr. Howard Conyers. So that's why I want to shout out.
We're gonna research that to title.
Yeah, look it up.
Man, 2021 is really a year of efficiency on our end, and for me personally, I've been pushed more to be like Dre. You got to think more like a CEO, right? And the statement you made earlier, working in the business, not working on the business, and so being more intentional on working on the business as it goes towards really being a more of a visionary, and with being a visionary, bringing out the best in everybody that's around you, right? That's one of the things that it's one of the things. It's the reason why I started Black Menswear was to bring out the best in the community, right? So the young black boys see themselves and they say, you know what, I can do whatever I want to do.
Right.
And utilizing this brand to do that, and now that we are becoming more substantial on building out efficiencies, right? How do we maximize our time? Because one important thing for me is I'm still in this dual job aspect, right? I still got a 9 to 5 while we're working on this, But I still want to be so efficient with my time that even between the two of these, I still have time
Right.
to spend with my son and my sons and my wife,
Right.
right? So I need to maximize efficiencies within our team so I can make sure that I'm still present at home. You know what I mean? Like I gotta make sure that I'm still the example
Right.
that my boys look up to. I gotta make sure I'm still the husband that my wife married.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So being efficient so that way I can still have that balance.
For sure.
So that's my goal for 2021. When it comes to leaving the gym, leaving the Nugget, one thing that I've said over and over on our Dapper Conversation series that we do is you are the best version of you, right? You ain't the best version of me, KG. I ain't the best version of you.
Right.
I'm not gonna go nowhere if I say, you know what, KG got a good thing going over there at Cosign. Let me be him.
Right. Exactly.
It's not.
Right.
I gotta be Neandre, right? I have to focus on Neandre. If for me, I learned that it was late in high school when I learned that, like, yo, if I stop trying to be everybody else and I become myself and I focus on developing me every single day, get 1% better every day, then I am going to become and develop the best person of me, the best version of me.
Right.
You're the only version of you ever created. You gotta do you.
One of one.
You one on one, right? We talk about custom suits.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got this one.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody has. Nobody is me, right? And so focus on being you. That's where you're gonna become successful. Because then you develop your own value and level of success. Your success isn't what somebody else is because you're trying to do what they do, right?
Gotcha.
So focus on being you. You are the best version of you. Build yourself would be my gem. And my cosign, 100%, man. It's got to go to my newest team member.
Okay.
My guy Rock Mitchell, out of Baltimore, has been a true. Not the yin to the yang because there's four of us. It's on the team, right? But that last notch in the wheel.
He's Donatello. He was the last Ninja Turtle.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. He's
Donatello.
Donatello, right? Because again, understanding how your team brings different values.
Right.
How guys I've been rocking with for years, but then a guy that I've met more recently brings value from a genuine perspective.
Right.
Right? Teaches us different ways to look at our brain growth and our brain development because he's worked with a lot of other people that have not even had the type of component that we've had, but have utilized different things that we're using to be successful, right? So making you look at the same object from a different view, a different perspective. Now you're looking at the aerial view versus the side view, the profile, right? And all these things, and just, again, continue to force the team to be creator. I definitely got to shout out Rock Mitchell out of Baltimore, major result co. Our creative director for Black Menswear that has really changed the way that from the perspective, and it's also kind of put a little bit more pep in my step,
Right.
a little bit more confidence to that aspect of like, yo, we got something that people love. Stop being timid about this shit. Excuse me, right?
No.
Like this brand is important and impactful for the culture. Do it like you're supposed to do it. So
Right.
like from that aspect, and just kind of just bringing out those things, and again causing us to look at the business a little bit wider and better. So again, shout out Rock Mitchell.
That's what's up. And this is another episode of Cosign Conversations. I'm gonna leave y'all with a gem I learned from Craig Lewis the other day that alludes to what he was saying. Keep that same courage. You know what I'm saying? The courage you have when you didn't have anything, you put everything in it. When you get in front of these brands and these partnerships and these celebrities, keep that same courage. You deserve everything you put in and everything you get. And with that, we have Black Menswear, Jacob, Evan, Neandre, Rock Mitchell. This is Cosign Conversations. Hey guys, what's good? Thanks for supporting Cosign Magazine by watching this video. If you really enjoyed this content, please subscribe, like, comment, and share.